Hey, you guys want to go camping? I'm about to leave.
Whoa, whoa, that's not enough. You got to plan ahead and prepare. This is what you need.
Wow, how did I get to this point?
Have you figured out where you're going?
I have not yet, actually. How do I do that?
Well, you're going to need to do some research on it. Before you get out there, you're going to need to figure out where you're going, the permits required, if there are any restrictions, the weather, and you need to look at the wildlife and terrain. To start planning your trip, you're going to need to figure out where you're going. With that includes the permits that are required, including group size, if there's water access, and fire regulations. With group size, there are other factors that go in with how much food you need to bring, what happens with that waste after you're done eating, and what happens with the leftovers. You also need to plan and look at the wildlife you may encounter, such as ticks, bears, and other poisonous plants. And you also need to be aware of the terrain. And that also includes knowing the skill level of everyone in your group, including yourself.
Now that I know all the regulations and where I need to go and all the permits I'll need, and also the group members that I'm going with, I don't know what I need to do next or what stuff I need to bring.
Let's take a look inside that bag and see what you got.
Alright, first piece of gear that you'd want to bring with you is a tent. Tent gives you some shelter away from the elements. It also gives you a sense of coziness and makes you a lot more comfortable when you're out in the wild. If you didn't have a tent with you, you'd be sleeping outdoors, and if it rains, you might get wet, or if it's windy, you get cold. So a tent is a very important thing to have on you when you're going out on a trip.
Next up is a sleeping bag. You're going to want this because in case it gets a little cold at night, you're going to be able to stay warm and be comfortable within your tent. If you don't have it, you're probably going to be cold and miserable.
Next up, you want something to cook your food with. Utensils, bowl, mug, everything in the same compartment. Super convenient, and you won't go hungry.
Next up is a sleeping pad and a pillow. Sleeping pads help with much comfort in any month of the year, but also they give you added warmth away from the ground, and also a sleeping pillow adds some comfort for you while you're out camping.
You're also going to want a pot or a pan and something to keep food storage in, so in case you do have waste, you have a proper way to carry it with you and to reuse it.
Alright, you also want some water. Your first source of water is your container, and always have a backup water filter or tablets for treatment.
Another nice thing to bring with you is extra layers. When you're out in the woods and stuff, sometimes elements come along that you didn't think were going to happen, and having extra layers in case you get wet or you get cold are nice to have when you're out there camping.
You're going to want to make sure to bring a compass and a headlamp, so in case you get lost, you can find your way around the dark.
It's also always important to carry a first aid kit and medical supplies with you, so that if anybody gets hurt, you're not stranded without any form of... This is a med kit.
Last but not least is your permit for where you may be camping if you need one. Then also, you might need your itinerary as well for making sure you know you're keeping on track with where you're going. Time to get comfy.
Wait. That's not how you set up a tent. You got to make sure you know how to set up your gear properly before going out.
I knew this didn't feel right. Oh, that's how you camp properly. Now that I know how to use my gear, am I ready to go?
Yep, as long as you got all your permits, you know the restrictions, you got your group size and know the skill levels, you got your food, and you got stuff to pack your waste out, I think you're good to go.
Awesome.
Just because you're planned and prepared doesn't mean you can't follow the rest of the 6 principles of leave no trace.
Here's my itinerary, guys. Thanks for helping me plan and be prepared for this trip. I'm so excited to have fun.
Have fun.